Hello and welcome to more Pokemon Unite. Figured I'd go ahead and do a tier list. My first one officially for Pokemon Unite. I've just been having a blast playing this game, and it's been a full week since the last patch came out. And I'll say I'm pretty happy with this patch. I feel like there's a couple of outliers here and there, but overall most characters are playable and useful. And it feels like player base is getting a little bit better at the game, and we're figuring it all out. So right now the patch is feeling pretty healthy and pretty good. But hey, let's do a little analysis here. Let's go ahead and first off, I need to move Blastoise over here. Clefairy and whatever the hell this thing. What the fuck is this? What is this? Okay, let's put that away. Ninetales actually is incredibly good. I think she is underrated. I don't see a lot of players playing Ninetales in my matches, and I don't get it. Ninetales is incredibly destructive. She has a wonderful set of skills that you can interchange between two based on who you're facing off against. You can go for bursty damage if you want, or you can go for like the veil as well as a stun and really hold those front lines and just work your auto attacks in. I think she's incredible. Maybe a little squishy, but with good gameplay and an eye on what you're doing, you can be quite destructive on her. I think she's up there in the S tier. I guess let's go ahead and stay with the S tier. Let's go ahead and pull up Snorlax. Snorlax is one of the only tanks that I fear playing against, and one that I'm happy when they're on my team. That's usually a good sign for a high tier. His ability to buy time is massive. No other character, no other tank except for Slowbro, with maybe his ultimate I could see a discussion about, can stay as long as Snorlax can in a fight. He is incredible. The CC he brings, the wall in particular, is destructive. Dude's a sure pick for me, no matter what. Cramorant, let's go ahead and pull him up. I think I'm one of the weirdos where I think Cramorant is actually very, very good. He has a cool mechanical skill with the ability to walk into your water-based attacks and pick up fish and bring in some extra damage, and I love that little movement on him. Like, mechanically, he's just a fun character. So I'm naturally going to gravitate towards anyone that is mechanically challenging or mechanically fun. It's just kind of the player I am. I love working in auto attacks. So Cramorant for me is like an A tier. I think his ult is amazing around Zapdos and Dreadnought because it does prioritize the minions in front of you when it does splash damage, so you're able to usually last hit those things. He has great area effect damage. He has surf ability available to him. His auto attacks are explosive. They bring in splash damage as well. Like, if you have good spacing, Cramorant's up there. Of course, he is a bit squishy, and if you jump on top of him, he kind of burns down, but what kind of AD carry doesn't, right? And these type of MOBAs. Let's go ahead and look into some supports here. I think Wigglytuff is almost S tier. If it wasn't for how high her cooldowns are, I would put her up here. Her cooldowns are about 10 to 12 seconds, so if you don't have your abilities, which are incredibly strong, available because you've kind of been spinning them and throw them out there, you might have a hard time, but even then, the constraints on them can be quite devastating. You gotta really know when you can burn your cooldowns. But Wigglytuff is up there for me. I think she's one of the hidden OPs in this patch, and I'm not sure why more people aren't playing her. Every time I pick her up, I feel like I'm able to dictate the back line unless my team abandons me. That happens on most tanks, though. So, very, very good. Enjoy Wigglytuff. Slowbro is probably one of the weakest characters in the game. He's so hit or miss based on your setup, your telekinesis. One, you hitting it, it's a pretty hard skill shot to hit, and then two, your team following up on it. Like, it's an alley-oop of combination. But when you do get it to work, he can be quite destructive. So I'm going to put him in C tier, not quite D tier, because like a good player can make him work. If you spend the time on him. And I know there's some Slowbro mains out there that, like, full respect, go Slowbro. It's just that he's not like Snorlax, where he can dictate the fight, he can make people push into errors, he can also kind of do damage on his own and turn in if he need be. Slowbro is kind of just a tank. He's just there to set up the team. If the team's there and they follow you up, you destroy. But you're not going to carry a game of Slowbro in terms of your own damage. He's just too slow. But I love him. I think he's awesome. I even think if he gets like some slight bursts here and there, whether it be an attack damage or maybe some more survivability on top of what he already has, he'll be unkillable and actually be up here in this A tier area. But he's just slightly undertuned. Just slightly. On the three tanks that are in the game, there's three, right? Because Blastoise is going to be 4. He's usually going to be the third option for a lot of players, and it makes sense why. I'm weird. Because I know Cinderace is strong, especially in the jungle, if you just allow him to farm. But I play characters like Charizard, Slowbro, things that can kind of get on the back line and be annoying. We usually do like a Machamp jungle when I'm playing with Walter, and Cinderaces just fucking die if you touch them and get on them. And there's a lot of abilities in this game allow for you to jump on top and kill Cinderaces, and with that feint nerf coming in, I know he was like S tier for a lot of people, and some will probably put him in A tier right now. I'm actually going to put him like right here on B tier. I just feel like maybe when I continue to climb more in ranked, I feel like Cinderace isn't that big of a problem. I think there's a lot of people that have to learn how to play this game a little bit and learn how to play MOBAs more, and just know when to commit, right? And try to punish. And we don't see that much in Pokemon Unite as you do in the other MOBAs, and I'm sure that will level up as more time get better. And I feel like once you understand how to get on a character and delete them, and once you know your combos, like Cinderace is gonna fall really, really hard. Feint's kind of keep him in the game right now. I prefer Cramorant way more. He has so much more utility between CC knock-up and then the auto attacks and incredible ult. Like, I don't know, man. I like Cramorant way more. I might just be some kind of hipster, but I'm always kind of weird when it comes to MOBAs. I'm a bit of a what do they call it? A non-meta gamer. Okay, Pikachu. Pikachu's a little rough for me, to be honest. I think I want to put him B tier, but I think we leave him at C tier. I know there's some Pikachu mains that are out there and absolutely love him and thinks that he is just Pika great, you know? And he does bring some cool utility in the game. There's some good CC here and there, some good long-range poke. But between the damage of Cramorant and, of course, your boy Cinderace, I just feel like Pikachu just doesn't bring enough to the table. If you run like double tank and run like a Pikachu, it can actually be very, very strong, but who's playing tank in the solo rank metas? And that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Oops, that was a video finishing in the background. My bad. Good news, more videos coming out. Alright, so I'm gonna put Pikachu down in C tier. I might be crazy on these two. I could like go either way on either of them. Mr. Mime, I am gonna be non-apologetic about this. I love Mr. Mime. I think his combos are awesome. I think the ability to build walls on a low cooldown is ridiculous. His pushing, his control in a fight, his fucking ultimate gives him so much and brings so much to the team if they can play around it and buy you time. I'm going to put him A tier. And that might be odd. I'm not sure. I don't see many people running Mr. Mime. But in my games, when I get a Mime, I run people over. It's not even fair. I'm a support, I bring damage, I can stop my teammates from doing dumb stuff with force walls and whatnot. I think if you understand how to run macro and how to move between the power spikes, between your teammates and against their opponents, I think Mime just delivers in every point. So I'm putting my A tier. I would say that because I know I'm having reservations and I'm trying to defend it, that's why I'm not putting him in S tier. I think he's that good. And I think more people, when they learn how to preemptively set up their skill shots and whatnot, will be there as well. Like, Mr. Mime is so good. Lucario is good. A tier. Usually really scared against him, especially in a melee range when you are playing a bottom or a top lane. If you have a ranger and just like a support or a ranger and a tank, Lucario actually, like, he kind of fucks. Like, he'll get in the back line and destroy people. And most range characters just don't have the health pool to handle one of his punches and even kite correctly. And then if he gets a full commitment into like a bone throw into a dive, he'll destroy people. I think he's up there as a very strong character. The only thing that makes me want to put him down slightly lower is his ultimate. In my opinion, it's kind of trash. Like, there's too much wind-up. It's really hard to shoot. The damage is actually kind of mediocre, in my opinion. And it's a linear skill shot, which is hard to pull off on a Switch controller even. So I almost want to put him in B tier, but I think his laning phase is so strong. And if you get a good dive with your teammates, usually you can destroy with him. So I'm going to put him up there for A tier at the moment. Greninja, I actually can't speak much about. I just know that when I play against a Greninja, I'm scared. Maybe that'll change whenever I get to the point where I know what I'm doing against him. I'll probably learn him in the next week or so. Just got so many other characters to try right now and figure them out. But I have seen people pop off with this character that are mechanically good, and so I'm going to put him up as an A tier because I think he has a high ceiling in terms of skill ceiling, which if people start to get up there and master it, and he can be quite a terror on the on the map. Looking at Machamp. Machamp, I'm gonna put it as B tier. Yeah, let's go with B tier. I think he's one of the best FU characters in the game. Like, he can pick one person and say, "I'm over you, you die now," and destroy them. The reason why you put him in B tier is because if he doesn't get that kill, he just floats around the middle of a team fight and does nothing, which can be a little on the Akotako side. So I think he's up there. I also think he's a little bit strong because there seems to be a bug with the game right now. When you have a submission come in from a champ, and if you try to flash it the last second, it rubber bands you back and you eat the flash. I think that makes him a little bit stronger too. I think once that gets taken away or fixed, he'll still have a harder time hopping onto people. Because when a champ runs at you, you can bait him, auto attack, and then flash away, and then auto attack afterwards. And you're at a point where you've won the fight and won the trade already, right? But because that flash bug exists, and I think it's consistent from what I've seen. I've seen it 4 or 5 times now in my games the last week or so. I think that's making him a little bit too strong at chasing down assassins. As the moment that goes away, all should be good in the hood for any ranged character playing against him. So we'll put him as B tier for now. Charizard. Man, I am a Charizard lover and a Charizard hater. Like, part of me wants to say he's D tier. Another part of me wants to tell me that he's A tier, depending on like what I'm ahead. If I can play around my 50% rate, like I want to, and get those crits available, I can kill any of these assassins in the back line. But my heart and my brain tells me, like, bro, you might like him, but he's down here, C or B tier. And because I want to be generous, I'm going to go with a B tier. Again, I like this patch right now, and I play a lot of Charizard, and I've had a lot of success with him. So, like, again, this is a biased pick. I think you should really hone in on Charizard and make sure you know what you're trying to do with him before you attempt to play him. If you have zero idea what you're doing, D tier. If you kind of have an idea what you're doing, B tier, A tier maybe. So we'll leave him in the B tier just to play safe. Good luck if you play Charizard, and I feel you on the frustration. Let's see here. Cottonball. Well, whatever her name is, Eldergoss. I don't know. Cottonball, I'm going to throw in a B tier. I like her heals. I like her shields. I think her ultimate is really strong and annoying to play against, but, like, I never feel like I've lost a team fight because of heals. I know that's kind of like a problem with healers in the game, but I think the nerfs were a little bit too much lately. Good in the lane phase. After that, I just feel like things fall apart for her in the team fight unless she's able to land like a clutch ult. So I'm going to leave her on the B tier. I know a lot of people play her and main her because they want to be a healer main, but I don't really think you need healers in this game, especially with what level she's at. So I'm going to put her down here at B. Moving into Talonflame. Talonflame I thought was going to be a lot stronger this patch. I think he's gone up from the DC tier that recently I think a lot of people put him in. He has quick deletion, which is nice, and he actually clears out the merc camps pretty fast now, so you can get to the jungle as needed, which is where I think I would put him if I were to pick him on a real team. Just throw him straight into the jungle and have him constantly flank people with his abilities. And he has a quick, rapid combo that can be devastating as well, but the moment you start seeing a Talon chase you, it's very similar to Machamp. You just kite him back, wait for him to use an ability, you can actually flash out of them before they connect the damage afterwards, so like you can dance around that and be more devastating in more team fights than the one team fight they might win, right? Also, their ultimate. The amount of times I've seen this ultimate be useless is too damn high, as the kids would say. So I'm going to leave him over here at B tier. Alright, so this guy, Thundercat, was ridiculous on the last patch. But I think a combination of people learning how to play and also just paying attention to his power spikes in particular have really brought him down. I would even be bold enough to put him into B tier. I think I might leave him up here in the A tier because he still jungles well, which is where a lot of people take him. And then 2, once he hits level 8, if your team does not pay attention to that power spike and play safe around him and keep an eye out for him on the map, he can get ahead and keep crushing you the entire match, which can be great for carrying. However, if you have a good team, I think he's B tier. You watch out for the 8, you watch out for his ganks, call them when possible, hold your bushes, and you can pretty much deal with him very easily. Just make sure he doesn't get ahead of the curve and just play around that power spike. So we'll leave him in A tier, but I am hesitant about that. I may want to throw him into B tier. Okay. We're getting through the list here pretty quickly. Godzilla. She is very good. And I think a lot of people are missing out on that. There's a couple like mage mains that play her and just completely destroy and devastate. I pick her up from time to time whenever I want some extra damage and I think I have enough CC. And I go the weaker build, according to my YouTube comments, where I do the Bombard ability as a confusion. But I'm coming around. I think the Moonbeam, which is the stun skill shot into the same Bombard that I've been picking, is actually quite devastating. I might have a video coming out about her soon, because I'm wanting to tinker more and more and see what I can do with her. But she brings out a lot of damage. The only problem is might keep her at bay is 1 low health bar. So that's why she won't go to tier C, because her health pool is just so small. And then cooldowns are actually kind of high. And I know a lot of people get around that by going the other ability. I forget the name of it at the top of my head, but it's like you put down this big spell, there's a bit of a time away, and then it explodes and does damage. And then if it hits people, it's cooldown reduction, so that's one way to get around that. But I've played it twice now, and I don't like that ability that much, because it feels very inconsistent to hit. Which maybe I just may be wrong. But for now, I like the Bombard, and even with the weaker build in people's minds, I would still leave her at an A tier. Very strong. This is another character that I think is very strong. The problem is he takes forever to evolve. He gets strong at his tier 3 whenever he evolves into the big shark boy. When he's baby shark boy. Baby shark doo-doo-doo. Okay, sorry. Whenever he goes from baby shark to big boy shark, I find him to be very annoying to play against. But he can be bullied out of lanes and be very annoying. Or be very annoyed by the constant ganks. Because his clear isn't that great, and suddenly his range might fall behind, and suddenly the lane phase might be a bit too much. So I'm going to go ahead and move him down to B tier, just because of how easy it is to gank him, and how long it takes him to scale up. But I think he can be devastating in the right hands, and if you can stay on an even footing, especially around objectives. His ultimate in particular. Poof! That's a fun one. Okay. Absol. This is a character that I'm learning next, but I think she's A tier. I need to get a feel for her and see how it feels in real fights, because I know she does damage from behind, so those backstabs might be hard to hit. But I'm going to play her, give her a chance. The games that I've seen her in, she's been great. I've seen games actually carried by this one. I just need to learn more about her before I can speak about her. I've just seen it be strong, so I'm going to put up in an A tier. My opinion might change later on. Crabboy is actually very strong, tanky with his ultimate, and actually brings damage to a field. I think he's more of a bruiser than a tank, but I still think I would pick him over a Slowbro if I got him mastered, right? If I'm trying to win. I think I'm going to leave him down in A tier just to be safe, but I could see him being S tier. A good Crabboy is insane, dude. When they get on your face, bring out the auto attacks and then control space with all the stuns, like AoE stuns, etc. You just feel like you are being slammed into a rock in a hard place, and it's just too much. So watch out for that character. When he falls behind, he's kind of lackluster. That's why I kind of have him like around A, because like if the teams are losing kind of hard, he can't really force the issue, whereas Snorlax can, right? Venusaur. Venusaur was pretty low for a lot of people. In last patch, I thought he was actually like tier C or B tier. I think he's just a little bit too skill shot dependent, but the damage upgrades have been nice. His ability to play around objectives, if you get there early and just kind of solar beam people, is out of this world. If you have the right settings too, there's a couple of settings that kind of change your camera up, so you can aim and get more vision when you're aiming for your solar beam, and I highly recommend that on Venusaur. He can just control space well, and then he can be quite deceptive on being able to get into fights and be a bit tanky, right? He's got the Mega Drain available to him, he can shoot from afar, just annoying. Is probably the words I would use for him. And it's hard to flank a Venusaur if they have good map awareness. So I'm going to put him up at A tier. Gengar got nerfed and also had a bug fixed. So it's a little bit preemptive maybe to call where he belongs because he disappeared for a couple days. There was a bug where you would, I think, put Hex, or I'm sorry, your, whatever it's called, the Sludge Bomb on top of a character. And then it just wouldn't reset whenever you engage. So you'd be floating in the middle and just die. They fixed that. And so he's been played in the last couple days, and he seems pretty good. He doesn't seem like he's OP anymore. Like, I remember when I used to play against him, I just felt like I couldn't do anything. I was dead unless I perfectly flashed. There's counterplay now. You're able to move around him. People have learned to play a little bit, too. So he's fallen down to A tier. Strong, but you do have to kind of play great and get to your third evolution, which is Gengar, in order to take over a match. And then these are characters that are supposed to be coming out in the future. We already know that Blastoise is SSSS tier. He'll frag when he comes out, and I can't wait to play him. But, you know, those are my thoughts on Pokemon Unite. It's been a week since the latest patch. I hope you're enjoying it. Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time for more Pokemans. Goodbye.